Welcome to TarantulasDreamTV. You are watching a previously recorded broadcast. Tune in every Monday and Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Instagram at TarantulasDreamTV for new episodes. And remember, it is a weird, weird world.
Now we hear about Lady Gaga, who admittedly was part of the whole Pizzagate situation with the spirit cooking lady, the Aleister Crowley events. She admits she has to sleep in her room with her at night because she believes a demon's going to attack her. Whether you believe in demons or not, when she wears meat suits and does all these rituals, and Madonna does it too, the organizers of the Super Bowl are deciding to defile America and break our will by having us bow down to this. And she's reportedly going to be on top of the Super Bowl. They're saying she may cancel doing this. On top of the stadium, ruling over everyone with drones everywhere, surveilling them in a big swarm, to just condition them that I am the goddess of Satan, ruling over you with the rise of the robots in a ritual of lesser magic. They have to tell you what they're planning in the future. So they're saying the rise of the machines is here. You were broken, you were fallen, and I squat on top of you and basically piss all over you.
It is intended for the entertainment and instruction of broad-minded adults only, and should not be played to or sold to minors under any circumstances whatsoever. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the floating pie pan in the sky at Groom Lake Analog Recordings. Welcome to Tarantulas Dream TV. Now here's your host, Samba.
Hello everyone and welcome to another broadcast of Tarantulas Dream TV. I am your host, Samba. And tonight is the night. This week is the week. We are diving deep. We are finally exposing the Illuminati. The Illuminati's control over our minds, our entertainment, the minds of our youth. We're finally doing it, so please stick around. This is going to be a wild night, a wild ride this week. Phone number for the shows, 520-704-7820 if you are interested in calling in at 9:30. I'm opening up the phone lines. We're going to have open lines, so please hold your calls to 9:30. But yes, I am here for you. I'm here for your calls, so please tune in. Yes, actually, I just checked the comments. Yes, Eggs and Eyes. That is the new theme song for the show. I opted to change it finally. Don't get me wrong. I love the original theme song, the song by Psychic TV. I picked it for a reason. I thought it kind of preached the ethos, the ideas of the show perfectly. They gave us the vibe, but ultimately. It was copyrighted, so if I wanted to upload these episodes to another streaming service like a YouTube, or just make this into like a podcast, ultimately I would have been potentially sued at the wazoo. So I had to write a different one. So at any rate, I hope everyone enjoyed the new intro and the new theme song. I certainly enjoyed writing it and recording it. So that is going to be what you're going to hear from now on. Anyways, I like to get the show started off with a headline tonight. Unfortunately, not very good news. Ennio Morricone, a prolific Italian composer for the movies, dies at 91. Now, this is from HollywoodReporter.com. Ennio Morricone, the Oscar winner whose haunting, inventive scores expertly accentuated the simmering, dialogue-free tension of the spaghetti westerns, directed by Sergio Leone, has died. He was 91. The Italian composer who scored more than 500 films, 7 for his countryman Leone after they had met as kids in elementary school, died Monday in Rome following complications from a fall last week in which he broke his femur. A native and lifelong resident of the Eternal City, whose first instrument was the trumpet, Morricone won his Oscar for his work on Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, and also was nominated for his original scores for Terrence Malick's Days of Heaven, Roland Joffe's The Mission, Brian De Palma's The Untouchables, Barry Levingston's Bugsby, and Giuseppe Tornatore's Malena. So yeah, unfortunately, sad news coming out of out of the entertainment industry. Ennio Morricone died. So I played a little bit of some of his music for the little pre-show bumpers. So hopefully everyone had fun with that. Anyways, that's headlines for this evening. Now let's get into the meat of the night. So I feel like in regards to the Illuminati, it's a pretty recognizable subject, I would say. In regards to who the Illuminati are, I feel like a lot of people are fairly familiar with the Illuminati. Now, whether that's through the entertainment industry, whether that's through conspiracy theories, whether that's through movies and Hollywood and many different forms of entertainment, the Illuminati, the idea that there is a sort of an overarching villain to the story, that there's some sort of control group that is kind of taking over our lives without us knowing it, is pretty well worn territory, I would say. Now I'm getting a note here from my in-studio producer saying to check the chat. Same here. Does it keep pausing, or is it just my internet trying to prevent me from opening my mind's eye? Now I'm looking at the stream over here. It does say that it is streaming. Having said that, it looks like potentially there might be an issue over here. Let me just check on what's going on real quick. Sorry for the for sort of breaking the fourth wall over here. Let me just see what's going on. Anything on my end looks like I can change. Not 100% sure what's going on. Potentially it's the Illuminati. Fucking with my stuff. But let's see. Hopefully that clears itself up, because it does look like it's streaming fine over here. Hopefully, if anyone's still on the airwaves listening, it's everybody, and I'm back. I don't know what is going on. I will say that was some strange times. Now, coming live from Tucson, I don't know if anyone else heard that through the mic. I don't know if it's just some post 4th of July monkey business outside, some funny games, but there was a loud boom right now. I don't know if it's some sort of explosion or just some fireworks. But there, as soon as I got on the air, an explosion of some sort was heard outside. So hopefully it's just some fireworks or something, but it's a funny story, kind of coming back down to real life for a second. Probably about last week, I believe, during the streams, my in-studio producer, who shall not be named, let me know that there was some sort of explosion outside that pre-4th of July, so obviously not really during the fireworks season, an explosion of some kind, and then quite a few sirens were heard in the back. So I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know what kind of stuff is happening over here. But anyway, before I get into the show, now that sort of the illusion of being a professional is kind of out the window, let me just see what's going on over here in the chat. Benjamin, seems clear now. Okay, good. Trial and Error Collective seems clear, but no volume. Hopefully that volume came back. Honeycomb Viper, a thumbs up. Special note from El Christine, Mercury is in fact in retrograde. The dreaded retrograde Mercury. Guess who's back from Eggs and Eyes? Freaking Mercury. Benjamin, was that a boom? So Benjamin, you did hear that. Thank you for confirming. Celia, loud firework just went off. Yes, so it does seem like to be a firework. And Eggs and Eyes, it was a V loud boom. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but we are back, and so now let's get back into the meat of the night. So at any rate, so yes, the Illuminati. I don't know if we really have to go too deep into the Illuminati. I feel like most people are fairly familiar with the idea of the Illuminati, what they are, but for those who are not, this is from Wikipedia. So this is written by someone else, and it's free for everyone to kind of look up on their own, but I will read it for everybody. So the Illuminati, plural of Latin's illuminatus or enlightened, is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment-era secret society founded on May 1st, 1776 in Bavaria, today part of Germany. The society's goals were to oppose superstition, obscurantism, religious influence over public life, and abuses of state power. The order of the day, they wrote in their general status, is to put an end to the machinations of the purveyors of injustice, to control them without dominating them. Illuminati has referred to various organizations which have claimed or have been claimed to be connected to the original Bavarian Illuminati or similar secret societies, though these links have been unsubstantiated. These organizations have often been alleged to conspire to control world affairs by masterminding events and planting agents in government and corporations in order to gain political power and influence and to establish a New World Order, or NWO. Central to some of the more widely known and elaborate conspiracy theories, the Illuminati have been depicted as lurking in the shadows and pulling the strings and levers of power in dozens of novels, films, television shows, comics, video games, and music videos. So yes, pretty standard stuff over here in regards to conspiracy theory. I would say that if I had to pick one through line through most conspiracy theories, the Illuminati is it. The idea that the Illuminati as a group, it's made up of elite ancient families or bloodlines, mostly tied with the Rothschilds, the Merovingians, and actually for all you Matrix fans out here, there's a character in the Matrix, I believe starting the second one, he's known as the Merovingian. So apparently he's spoiler alert, he's a code, he's a program in the Matrix, and apparently maybe this is a thinly veiled allusion to the Illuminati, but I digress. And the Bilderbergs, apparently those are the sort of some of the main bloodlines that make up the Illuminati. They rule over the entire world. They essentially kind of pull the strings in regards to manipulating the media, the news media. They manipulate through false flag operations. They control the food supply. They potentially control, make the production of diseases, a la COVID-19, which is, brought up a lot of conspiratorial thoughts in and of itself, with the Illuminati or the NWO or some sort of overarching evil group kind of taking the reins. So I would say the Illuminati is sort of the, and I wouldn't say the be-all, end-all of kind of conspiracy theories, but they pop up in so many different places. It's kind of impossible to avoid them. To the point where I would say that when you hear someone say like Glenn Beck, who's a right-wing political commentator, talk show host, whatnot, or Sean Hannity or anyone like that, they tend to refer to the deep state, and I would say that it's sort of a thinly veiled kind of Illuminati concept of like a secret, a more deeply ingrained government organization. So the Illuminati, they're the top. They're the very tippy top. So in regards to their sort of control over the media or entertainment, I'd say that there's probably no way to avoid, if you're a conspiracy theorist, the idea that the Illuminati are pulling the strings and controlling what you see, and essentially any sort of popular media, whether it's TV shows or movies, music, whatever, the most popular stars of the day, the pop stars, they are all Illuminati pawns and puppets of some sort, and they're all here to sort of indoctrinate the public at large into the Illuminati, or at least the idea of or Illuminati ideas. So for this show and for the one on Wednesday, I mostly want to focus on sort of the individuals who are amongst conspiracy theorists sort of the most flagrant and well known. Illuminati pawns. Now, the first two I want to get into tonight before the break, and unfortunately because of this Illuminati fuckery, I do have to go to break in about 10-15 minutes. But the first one I want to get into is very well known. We all love her. She's Beyonce. Now she... and also her husband, Jay-Z. So Jay-Z and Beyonce are both world-renowned songwriters, hip-hop, pop, and R&B artists, as well as starring in feature films. Now, most notably, for all my Austin Powers people out there, Beyonce played the role of Foxy Cleopatra in the third Austin Powers film. She was, as she says, a whole lot of woman. So she's done her dabbling in the entertainment industry in regards to movies, but she's mostly well known as a music artist. So her and her husband, they're also very successful entrepreneurs. Jay-Z is one of the co-owners of the clothing brand Rocawear, and at this point the sky's the limit for them. So they are very well ingrained in the entertainment industry. Now, one of the more interesting rumors that I've read about in regards to Beyonce and her Illuminati ties began on the set of Jay-Z's Family Feud music video, which was a single, or it might not have been I guess it's probably a single if it was a music video, but it's a song from his album 14, I believe it's called, or something like that. So apparently during the music video shoot of this, Beyonce kind of went into some information that she had received about her bloodline. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video that was I pulled from another YouTube channel. I'm not going to play very much of it because one of the things I like to highlight with some of these videos is sort of the fun amateur quality to them. But one thing I love is when YouTube videos, instead of actually having someone narrate, like a human narrate either a story or someone on camera kind of telling you their beliefs, a lot of conspiracy YouTube channels will use sort of like a robot voice instead of actually being on camera themselves or narrating themselves, and whether that's because they don't have a good enough mic or they'd rather not have their voice on a YouTube video. I find it very funny because it's very difficult to kind of understand, but this is a video kind of explaining Beyonce's bloodline.
Beyonce says she merits her situation at the zenith of media outlets not on account of she is capable, lovely or persevering, but since she is dropped from Illuminati bloodlines, as per reports. Uncovering that a DNA test pack given to her by Gwyneth Paltrow's 13-year-old little girl Apple Martin opened up a radical new world to me and made my fixation on following my family tree, Beyonce told dear companions and partners on Jay-Z's Family Feud video shoot that her family is firmly related to the Bush family, Rockefeller administration and the Queen of England.
Okay, so that was Beyonce getting into her bloodline. Her bloodline. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to read essentially what they were talking about, because it's a little hard to understand with the robot voice. It tends not to have a lot of pauses that you normally would pause like in a sentence, so it's a little hard to understand. But anyway, this information comes from a website called truthunsealed.com, which is just a treasure trove of Illuminati and entertainment conspiracy. But essentially the headline is revealing that a DNA test kit given to her by Gwyneth Paltrow's 13-year-old daughter, Apple Martin, opened up a whole new world to me, said Beyonce, and created my obsession with tracing my family tree. Now, Beyonce told close friends and associates on Jay-Z's Family Feud music video that her family is closely related to the Bush family, Rockefeller dynasty, and the Queen of England. She said, "We are related to the Rockefellers on my mom's side. I thought that was something, but we are also not so distant cousins of the British royal family," Beyonce boasted. One of the most powerful families in the world, the Rockefellers have extreme wealth and power. Beyond their holdings in real estate and industry, as well as their political connections, the Rockefellers have given large amounts of money to religious organizations which are alleged by Illuminati watchers to actually be training grounds for Satanists. The Rockefellers were also instrumental in forming key Illuminati front groups like the Council on Foreign Relations. The Formation singer, who has a personal fortune of $500 million, also claimed to be related to the Bush family, though through ties on her family's father's side of the family tree. "We got Bush blood running through our veins. Shame it isn't Obama blood, but it's presidential blood twice over, Beyonce boasted. So yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't find any actual footage of this happening. Beyonce had posted some behind the scenes pictures from the music video set that were kind of just fun family pictures of her and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy, but ultimately, there wasn't really much in regards to this particular story. So I would say that I would maybe put it in the potentially not true category, like some of these other stories. But ultimately, it's very interesting nonetheless. Now, this is a true story. It was reported on in Newsweek and a few other sort of media sources. But apparently, Beyonce has been Beyonce has been referred to as an Illuminati witch by a former drummer of her touring band as well as her studio band. The drummer, her name is Kimberly Thompson, and apparently in court documents leaked to the public, Thompson requested a restraining order against Beyonce, alleging that Beyonce had and has engaged in dark magic and magic spells of sexual molestation. Now, this is from Newsweek.com. It says, Thompson reportedly believes that the singer was using extreme witchcraft and utilizing these spells to tap her phone and control her finances, all to keep the drummer under surveillance. These actions are reportedly be part of a harassment campaign orchestrated by Beyonce against Thompson. She alleges that Beyonce had tapped her phones, conducted spells of sexual molestation, and murdered her pet kitten. The judge denied her motion for a restraining order. So yeah, that is a true story. If you want to look it up, it was reported in Newsweek, and there's a few gossip sites that did get apparently some screenshots of the I don't know if you call it an application for a restraining order or some kind of document where she does sort of go into a little detail in what she believes Beyonce was doing in regards to putting using sexual magic against her and I guess killing her kitten. So that is a true story. Interesting and creepy. Now, as an aside, Beyonce's sister Solange has also come under fire among conspiracy theorists. Now, back in 2018 at the Met Gala, Solange's outfit was sort of a subject of controversy amongst conspiracy theorists, claiming that it was inspired by the occult and witchcraft. Now, I do have a picture of Solange wearing her outfit. I'm going to pull that up right there. So this is what she wore to the 2018 Met Gala. And what people were kind of pointing to, conspiracy theorists, was that she was carrying a bottle of Florida water. And you can kind of see it on the left, I guess it would be her right, but our left-hand side right there in her hand, if you can tell. Now, apparently, Florida water is essentially a type of liquid known for its spiritual properties, typically used in voodoo, Wiccan, or Santeria practices. So, a lot of conspiracy theorists are pointing to the Beyonce, Jay-Z, Solange, them all kind of being occult Illuminati pawns and kind of rubbing it in our faces by carrying stuff that is associated with Wicca and Santeria and stuff. So that is also a true story. She did carry a bottle of Florida water around with her. It was incorrectly reported as her favorite drink, but it's not something that you drink a lot. You don't really drink it. So that's what's going on with Solange. So I do have a few more minutes before the break here. I do want to get into the rest of the show. One thing I wanted to kind of announce is from here on out, instead of doing 2 shows a week with 2 different topics, I'm going to do 2 shows a week with 1 topic, because I feel like I tend to get in the weeds here a little bit. I want to report on everything that I've found. So tonight, no worries about time. Whatever I don't get to tonight, please come back on Monday and see the rest of the story. But before I go to my break and play my song of the night, I do want to get into some of the comments real quick. So Trial and Error Collective, oh behave, yes, oh behave. Austin Powers, he's the man. Benjamin, bot voice, yes, love the YouTube conspiracy bot voice. Old Man Adam, hello Old Man Adam, first time listener, first time viewer. That sounds just like you. My voice or the conspiracy theories, I'm not sure what you're getting at. Celia, hello. She's waving over there. Maryland Rose, lol, at Bushblood. Yes. I'm not sure if I'd really be all that. Yeah, I wouldn't really be all that happy if I had Bushblood, even if it was conspiracy theory, or if it was made up. I wouldn't really want Bushblood either. Mad Underworld, Karen Thompson. Yes, Karen Thompson, I'm sure referring to the drummer who apparently tried to get a restraining order on Beyonce for conducting dark magic on her. The Blasted Man, whoa, extreme witchcraft. Yes, once you get to a certain level of fame and fortune in Hollywood or the music industry, I think you can almost exclusively say that it's because of extreme witchcraft. El Christine, that's where the magic gets dark. Yes, not all magic is good. Some of it does get dark. Swindle Witch, extreme witchcraft I can excuse, but murdering a kitten crosses the line. Yes, I knew that if you were on the air tonight, you would have a problem with Beyonce killing a cat, a kitten. Celia, yes, Sasha Fierce, right? Yes, actually, I won't get into it too much, but apparently Sasha Fierce is the maybe sort of the demonic, satanic side of Beyonce. That is a conspiracy theory as well. Benjamin, good call, Sama. Thank you. Old Man, also last time listener, JK. Oh, I've offended somebody. Sorry, Old Man Adam. It's just your screen name. You're not. I don't even know how old you are. Maybe you're not old. You're not old at all. But thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. So it's 9:29. I do want to get into my song of the night. Now this song is coming from the band Burning Palms. They were a local band here in town. Unfortunately, I don't believe they exist anymore. The main songwriter and singer, last I heard, moved to New Mexico. So this is actually coming from their 2017 album False Prophet. The song's called Wax and Wane. When I get back, it'll be right around 9:30 or so, and the phone lines will be open. So if you have any questions or comments, please give me a call. The number is 520-704-7820, and I will see you in a few minutes.
They've all been wrong.
And we are back. That was Burning Palms with Wax and Wane from their 2017 album False Prophet. Now, if you do want to look them up on Bandcamp, the address is burningpalms.bandcamp.com. They have a few different releases on there, so if you liked what you heard, please throw some magic bones their way. The time's 9:33, and it is open lines for you all. If you'd like to call and ask a question or just want to talk to Samba over here, the number's 520-704-7820. It doesn't necessarily have to be about the Illuminati. It can be about whatever you want. So please give me a call. So yes, Beyonce. Now, she is apparently an Illuminati witch. She's had people sue her over her witchcraft and her killing of kittens, so it is no surprise that her visual album Lemonade is packed to the brim with Illuminati and satanic symbolism, or at least according to conspiracy theorists. Now, this is a lot of this information is coming from a website called VigilantCitizen.com, which I believe the address does sound like it would be sort of an Illuminati satanic kind of whistleblower type of website, because everyone who notices these things in the media are vigilant citizens. So, but yes, this coming from Vigilant Citizen. They have a giant article detailing this stuff, but I kind of picked out some of the highlights. Now it says music critics claim that Lemonade is Beyonce's most personal album, making it seem like she sat there crying with a pen and paper, writing her heart out. But that is now how it went down. A quick look at the album's liner notes revealed that the album was written by a team of 72 writers. The song Hold Up Alone was written by 15 people. The video part of the visual album was put together by 7 directors, including some of the occult's elite favorite. Now, does it look like I have a phone call? You're on Tarantula's Dream TV, caller.
Hi, Samba. Good to be on. I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
So I'm curious, are the Illuminati in, I don't know, the conspiracy circles, do most people hold them to be supernatural in some respect? Or are there certain sections that see them as just like wealthy, powerful elite and not delving into the satanic, mystical side of things? Or is it predominantly all supernatural and mystical?
For the most part, I would believe if you're subscribing to the idea of the Illuminati, most of it does kind of come down to the idea that the bloodlines themselves, the people, aren't necessarily supernatural in and of itself, the Rockefellers, Bilderbergs, what have you, but they all essentially practice satanic, I don't want to say Satanism, but satanic rituals, dark magic, the occult in some form, in a bid to kind of bolster their power, not just through finances, but through the use of magic, which would sort of explain why, why they believe that there is so much occult imagery in entertainment. Essentially, every sort of mass ritual in regards to concerts and kind of mass distributed movies and albums, because of the occult imagery kind of put there by the Illuminati, it's essentially using these sort of forms of media as a form of occult worship and like mass ritual. So it all kind of does come down to the idea that the Illuminati are practicing magic, and by that logic alone, yes, I guess I would say that the Illuminati is is paranormal and spiritual in some way, in a bad way, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, well, that answers my question.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. Yeah, no problem. Have a good night, caller.
All right, good night.
Bye. Anyways, so yes, the Illuminati are very much deep into the occult worship, the satanic worship, everything, all mass media, all entertainment is, through the eyes of a conspiracy theorist who believes in the Illuminati, essentially a massive ritual. So that brings me back to Beyonce's album Lemonade. Now, when I left off, the website Vigilant Citizen was getting into the idea that the visual album was produced by many of the occult's favorite directors. Oh, I got another call. Hello, caller. You're on Tarantula's Dream TV.
Oh, yes, hello. Sorry, I got confused.
Hello.
I got confused again because I did that thing where I'm watching and then I don't know how radio works, so.
You didn't, caller. Am I correct to say that you didn't turn down your radio? Is that what's going on?
That's just about what happened. Yeah, that's. Anyway, no, I'm sitting in my bathroom, but it's probably better than
All right.
No listening in. But so I was kind of going off the last question from the last caller there. I was wondering if the Illuminati is also kind of tied in with like satanic things, because this conversation reminds me a lot about like, artists that have like sold their soul to Satan, to make a record deal or to have like some incredible shredding abilities. Do you think that's related, or did this conspiracy kind of grow from that one, or what are your thoughts?
Of course. I would say in kind of piggybacking off the last caller's question, I would say that the Illuminati and the entertainment industry, they're all essentially kind of piggybacking off of each other, and that they are all using Satanism, using satanic rituals, and when it gets into some of the other celebrities that I was going to talk about later, the idea that they are selling their souls, making deals with the Illuminati, who are therefore sort of, they're satanic in and of themselves. The idea of using ritual magic and selling your soul to gain riches and power and influence, they're all tied together. So I would say yes. The answer to your question is a definite yes. The Illuminati and the ability for celebrities to become celebrities is all about using Satanism and witchcraft and the occult and ritual magic to gain that power, and also to gain money. So there's a lot of stories on the internet of celebrities kind of either behind closed doors expressing a kind of a regret over using and making these deals and using magic to get where they're at, because in the end it doesn't pay. Really, dark magic doesn't pay, regardless of whether or not you have a lot of riches and money. That does come up a lot in these conspiracy theories.
Very interesting. I also wonder, because I feel like backmasking was talked a lot about back in the day, in regards to people selling their soul to Satan. You got your classic Britney Spears, Sleep With Me, I'm Not Too Young, when you play Hit Me Baby One More Time backwards. I wonder if do you know of any songs that when they're played backwards says anything about the Illuminati?
It's very interesting. I honestly haven't heard much in the conspiracy realm, and at least in the more modern, records and recordings of playing music backwards that kind of, like you were saying, backmasking. Now, for people who don't know what backmasking is, or the idea of kind of subliminal messages back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, kind of, back when recordings were less, weren't really digital recordings. There was a lot of kind of conspiracies and rumors that like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and Queen, a lot of these bands would put subliminal messages in their music backwards. So if you played certain songs, you'd hear different subliminal messages with, I think one of the more prominent ones that I remember is in Stairway to Heaven. If you played it backwards, I believe kind of a little bit past the second kind of chorus area or something, you'd hear Robert Plant speaking about Sad Satan and being taken to a tool shed where he was, I guess, abused or something, and he says sad Satan. So it's a well-worn territory in terms of conspiracy theory with backmasking. I will say that a lot of conspiracy theorists don't really promote the idea of backmasking as much, because they just see that a lot of the lyrical content already put out there is essentially is very thinly veiled Illuminati or satanic kind of lyrics anyway. And in fact, when it comes to the subject of Jay-Z, which we'll hopefully get to, there is a particular song where NPR did an interview, and they kind of reveal some of the occult lyrics that he's just saying out in public. No backmasking needed. He's just talking about it. So I think a lot of people are kind of seeing the brazen occult imagery that a lot of pop stars and especially like hip hop artists kind of using as just kind of the sort of like revealing their allegiances and not being secret about it. So they don't even really need to backmask anything.
Wow. The classic forward mask.
Yes,
right?
Forward mask. No need to hide at all. It is all out in the open. So yes, no need to talk about sad Satan underneath anything. You just say it out loud. Satan said, you know.
Just say it out loud.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, Samba. This has been an enlightening conversation.
No problem. Thank you for calling.
Anytime. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Anyways, yes, backmasking and hidden messages not needed anymore in the current pop climate. So as I was saying, Beyonce, yes, her Lemonade album, it is just filled to the brim with sort of Illuminati and satanic imagery. Now, one of the kind of proofs of this, or at least some of the proofs of the some of the directors that were used to show that, is this clip of a ad, a Versace ad that, if I get back to my Versace ad here, shows a lot of kind of MK Ultra mind control imagery. Now, apparently, this was directed by Jonas Åkerlund, who is one of the directors who worked on the Lemonade album. And so this is he's a famous director. He did the "Hold It Against Me" video by Britney Spears. He did Lady Gaga's telephone video, and he did this ad. So I'm going to play a little bit of the ad. I'm not going to play all of it because I don't want to get sued. So yeah, that was the ad directed by Jonas Åkerlund, one of the music video directors on the Lemonade album. Apparently that video is proof that Jonas Åkerlund is part of the Illuminati and using satanic imagery and also MK Ultra imagery. Now, MK Ultra, I got into it last week with the Max Spears episode as well as the Phil Schneider episode. MK Ultra was essentially a secret government program that used psychotropic drugs, used torture, it used a lot of different methods to break down the human mind to kind of create essentially just to break the brain down so that they could be reprogrammed, sort of like a Manchurian Candidate situation. So this man working with Beyonce is sort of proof positive that the album Lemonade has many, many occult images going on. Now, this is one of the highlights that is pointing to the sort of the subliminal messaging. Now, this is a poem from that album. I believe it's the first poem, actually, because there's quite a few different little like sort of spoken word bits on the Lemonade album. It goes, "I try to make a home out of you, but doors lead to trap doors. A stairway leads to nothing. Unknown women wander the hallways at night. Where do you go when you go quiet? You remind me of my father, a magician, able to exist in two places at once. In the tradition of men in my blood, you come home at 3 a.m. and lie to me. What are you hiding? The past and the future merge to meet us here. What luck. What a fucking curse." Now, you know, I would say that with the idea that the album is sort of alluding to someone whose partner is, you know, cheating on them, infidelity, it's definitely veiled in some symbolism, and it's definitely it's a poem, but apparently that is sort of kind of to conspiracy theorists showing that Beyonce is not just talking about infidelity, but the idea that the man she's talking about, the person, is actually her way of revealing the Illuminati in her poem. The idea that the Illuminati is controlling her. It's the trap doors, the stairways leading to nothing. The Illuminati is all. It's just like it's not worth it. It's all tricking. It's tricking artists. It's tricking entertainers. Essentially, the album Lemonade to these conspiracy theorists is more proof that Beyonce's trying to tell people about the Illuminati. And their games that they play. Now, another sort of clue on that album that kind of leads more toward the satanic element is one of the poems talks about Beyonce using pages of the Bible as a tampon. Now, the poem goes, "I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thick in skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book. But still inside me, coiled deep, was the need to know, are you cheating on me?" Now, for people who don't know, menses being the blood and other matter discharged from the uterus at menstruation. So, if far be it, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, but potentially if you're religious, a Christian or some sort, then that potentially might be problematic, just at the idea of her saying that she puts pages from the holy book to plug the menses. So, regardless of whether you believe it's Illuminati or satanic, a lot of people just had a problem with that because they feel like it's profane and blasphemous. Now, later on in the video, Beyonce smashes, kind of goes on a little rampage. She smashes some cars and windows and businesses around her community, and apparently that's alluding to the infamous 2008 breakdown of Britney Spears, where she shaved her head and attacked the car of a paparazzi with an umbrella. Now, for people who don't remember that, here's a little picture of Britney Spears for you. Her right there attacking that paparazzi's car. Now, while all that was going down, there was rumblings that Britney Spears, her mental breakdown was due to her being used and abused by the Illuminati and her handlers, and that's kind of why she had her breakdown. So, conspiracy theorists kind of point to these parallels as Beyonce showing that in the video that her going, kind of smashing cars, smashing things up is alluding to her kind of losing her mind due to the Illuminati control. Now we have about 10 minutes here left on the stream, and I'm not even knee deep in the Illuminati conspiracy stuff, but I do want to get to some of your comments because it does look like everyone's blowing up over here. So we go, Matt Underworld. Hello, Matt Underworld. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to see you. Matt Underworld would rather hear the Cocteau Tones. Oh, sorry. I like to play local music or music from people I know. Just I feel like there's less of a chance of someone telling me to not play their songs or having the video pulled or something. Bunny Millions. Jake and I both used to be in Burning Palms. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Bunny Millions. So you were former bandmates. I heard mixed things about Burning Palms, and I knew the main singer songwriter. I won't call them out or anything, but I knew them, and at any rate, the music, I'll just say the music speaks for itself. Trial and Error Collective, good question. Marilyn Rose, speak for yourself, Samba. Eggs and Eyes, Samba, most cults or groups have a leader or grandfather founder figure. Who founded the Illuminati? Now, a lot of conspiracy theorists just point to the idea that the Bavarian Illuminati, which on the history books doesn't exist anymore, or at least, according to mass, more mainstream history, they don't exist anymore. Out of the ashes of the Bavarian Illuminati came the more modern idea of the Illuminati. There's also a conspiracy theory that the Illuminati, the family, the bloodlines that make up the Illuminati are actually UFOs of some type, particularly the reptilians. So if you believe in that, then the idea is that, millions of years ago, the reptilians came and sort of created humanity as like a sort of like a slave race. And so the bloodlines from those original reptilian aliens is kind of what has formed and turned into the modern Illuminati. The Blasted Man, dare to keep kids off of dark magic. Yes, please, let's keep our children off of the dark magic. Swindlewitch, whoops, I didn't mean to say hello. Sorry. Goodbye, Swindlewitch. Thank you for tuning in. El Christine, I wonder if in reference to Beyonce, but also in general, alleged Illuminati members are always inducted by blood, or if celebrities and powerful figures get approached ever. They do, and in fact, it looks like probably on Wednesday we'll get into it. That's sort of how Lady Gaga got into the whole mess, being recruited. Honeycomb Viper, piggybacking off of El Christine, does it go back to Beyonce's parents, her father, who was so heavily involved in catapulting her and Solange to stardom in their childhood? I would say I didn't see much about, Beyonce or Solange's parents in a lot of these conspiracies. Now, I would say the sort of Bush blood conspiracy that I saw was sort of a lone conspiracy. It didn't really seem to tie into sort of the Illuminati idea at large. I think, which kind of led me to. I really just wanted to report on it because I thought it was so interesting. But ultimately, I feel it kind of did come up more that Beyonce and Jay-Z were also most likely recruited into the Illuminati, which is how they were able to gain so much fame and fortune. Trial and Error Collective, this ad is sick, honestly. Yeah, actually, I thought the entire ad was pretty good in and of itself. And in fact, Donatella Versace comes out at the end of it. And she's just like, I'm pulling the strings. So, she's already kind of seen as sort of, in some conspiracy circles, as sort of alien in and of it herself. I think it's a little mean, but conspiracy theorists have never claimed to be nice. Mary Ellen Rose ad was A+. Yes. Celia, freaky. Mad Underworld, is there a connection to the movie Spun and the drug meth? I'm not familiar with that film. If anyone, maybe later on in the comments, someone cleared that up, but I'm not sure what the film Spun and the drug meth spun out on meth. I don't know. Benjamin, through the dark of futures past, the magician longs to see one way out between two worlds. Trial and Error Collective, iconic. Marilyn Rose, leave Britney alone. Yes. It goes beyond a meme. Please leave Britney alone. She's pulled herself together. I think there's something to be said about Britney Spears in regards. I don't know if it's necessarily Illuminati mind control, but I will say that it is nice that she was able to I think kind of gain control a little bit of her semblance of self. I feel like whether or not you believe in the paranormal or the Illuminati or anything, the entertainment industry is a fucking meat grinder, and I don't blame certain celebrities, people for kind of having breakdowns. I mean, people have breakdowns in their normal life. I wouldn't even begin to imagine what it's like to be a celebrity. So I'm definitely on Team Britney. I'm glad that she seems to have made it out the other side. Eggs and Eyes. I forgot about the mysterious handlers. Yes, there's always handlers involved. There's always somebody above us, above controlling us, kind of almost like guardian angels, except they're just here to control us. So there's free Britney. Matt Underworld, Jonas Ackerlund. Yes, that was the director of the ad. So actually I have a little bit more time than I thought because I had to restart the stream, so we can go a little deeper before we have to call it quits for the night. Now, this is I'm going to kind of get through the Lemonade album a little quickly. Now, this is apparently a poem also on the album that alludes to sex magic. Now, she says, she sleeps all day, dreams of you in both worlds, tills the blood in and out of the uterus, wakes up smelling of zinc, grief sedated by orgasm heightened by grief. God was in the room when the man said to the woman, I love you so much, wrap your legs around me, pull me in, pull me in, pull me in. Sometimes when he'd have her nipple in his mouth, she'd whisper, oh my God, that too is a form of worship. So yes, that is essentially sort of more evidence that Beyonce is using or talking about sex magic. Sex magic is defined as the sexual activity used in magical, ritualistic, or otherwise religious and spiritual pursuits, with the idea that people, when they are engaged in sexual activity, especially with the orgasm, it releases a lot of energy into the cosmos, into your aura. A lot of people refer to it as orgone energy. Essentially, those in those instances, sex magic is definitely the time you'd want to sort of, if you're going to do a ritual, maybe during that moment when the energy is so strong. So essentially, that's apparently what she's talking about is sex magic. Now the album closes with the single "Formation," which I feel like probably a lot of us have heard, and which includes the lyrics, "Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch my fly and my cocky fresh. I'm so reckless when I rock my Givenchy dress. I'm so possessive, so I rock his rock necklaces," which alludes to Jay-Z's Rockefeller clothing company, or Rockaware, which was actually named after the Rockefellers, who are rumored to be part of some of the exclusive Illuminati bloodlines. And I actually have a picture of Beyonce. She's doing the Rockefeller, Rockaware, Jay-Z sign. Now, this symbol, according to Jay-Z, is supposed to kind of represent a diamond, which, is sort of his way of referring to the riches and sort of the lifestyle of being a famous rapper. But essentially, it's rumored to be an allusion to the pyramid, the all-seeing eye, which is Freemasonry symbolism, which is definitely a proof positive that she's part of the Illuminati. So yes, that was Beyonce. There's definitely a bigger rabbit hole to dive into when it comes to Beyonce, especially with Lemonade. There was the article from the Vigilant Citizen goes super deep, or I don't even know if it necessarily goes deep, but it does pick apart that album pretty hard in regards to what they consider to be fairly blatant symbolism that's used in regards to Beyonce and the Illuminati. But I do want to move on to Jay-Z so that we have time to talk about the next person on this list on Wednesday. Now, Jay-Z, as we know, is actually married to Beyonce. He's a rapper. He's a famous rapper in his own right. Now, a lot of the same ideas that that conspiracy theorists contribute or attribute to Beyonce also kind of apply to Jay-Z, with kind of the main thing being the fact that his hand symbol, the pyramid, is an allusion to the Illuminati, the Freemasonry, that kind of thing. Now I do want to pull that up real quick. Here's Jay-Z with his Rockefeller sign. It's the pyramid. It's the all-seeing eye. So already he's flashing it in our faces that he's part of the Illuminati. It's sort of a dog whistle to others in the Illuminati. Now, the pyramid is meant to symbolize the Eye of Providence, which is also otherwise known as the All-Seeing Eye, which our good friend Stuart Swerdlow from the Montauk Project talked about being on the back of our dollar bills. It's also tied into Freemasonry, which is another group heavily rumored to be part of an Illuminati tool. That kind of leads me to my next little picture here. Now, Jay-Z, his clothing brand, Rockaware, has a lot of different, pieces of items of clothing, T-shirts and hoodies and beanies and a whole mess of things. Some of the pictures and designs that he's used are pointed to as Illuminati kind of imagery, with the all-seeing eye on beanies, as well as the compass from Freemasonry on there. He likes to put occult imagery on his clothes. Now these are real pieces of clothes. These aren't photoshops or anything. These can be bought and sold. This one says Masters of the Craft. So already people, conspiracy-minded people are again, much like not having to backmask the messages of the occult. Jay-Z is essentially just putting in everyone's faces that I'm part of the Illuminati, the occult, and in fact I have no fear. I'm going to show you what that means. Now, one of the last things I want to get into about that is an interview I mentioned to the caller before. It's an NPR clip, so it's an audio clip. It was an interview with Mitch Horowitz, who's the author of Occult America. White House seances, Ouija circles, Masons, and the secret mystic history of our nation. Now, that book is described as such. It says, from its earliest days, America served as an arena for the revolutions in alternative spirituality that eventually swept the globe. Esoteric philosophies and personas, from Freemasonry to spiritualism, from Madame H.P. Blavatsky to Edgar Cayce, dramatically altered the nation's culture, politics, and religion. Yet the mystical roots of our identity are often ignored or overlooked. Opening a new window on the past, Occult America represents a dramatic, pioneering study of the esoteric undercurrents of our history and their profound impact across modern life. Now, this is an interview that they did with him in regards to some of the symbolism in the Run This Town video that Jay-Z put out that also has Rihanna in it. So let's give that a little listen.
In this first scene, we see a torchbearer leading a crowd into a kind of a warehouse.
There are these underground caverns, and they seem to be in the catacombs of some kind of a temple. You know, Jay-Z is very clearly drawing on some kind of mystery, religion, inner temple imagery.
Feel it coming in the air.
Yeah. Many in the crowd are pumping lead pipes and torches in the air, almost like villagers getting ready to chase Frankenstein's monster.
Some people read something occult into the people carrying torches. Lucifer translates into light bearer. I think that's an exaggeration. This is fairly standard music video imagery.
But when Jay-Z actually starts rapping, Mitch Horowitz hears something clearly related to the occult.
He just said, "Peace, God." That's the most significant part of this video. That's an expression from a mystery religion called the 5 Percenters. And they believe that the black man emergent from the Asian continent is God, and that all men are God in potential. And they greet one another by saying, "Peace, God." That is not widely known, and Jay-Z is selecting that very purposefully.
And throughout the video, Jay-Z and his collaborators, singer Rihanna and the rapper Kanye West, all hold their fingers in a triangle shape in front of their left eyes. It happens to be the symbol of Jay-Z's record label, Rockefeller. But bloggers also point to that symbol as proof of Jay-Z's Masonic connection.
It is a Freemasonic symbol. It's also a very American symbol. What Jay-Z is referencing is that mysterious eye and pyramid that we find on the back of our dollar bills.
Yes.
It suggests that worldly achievement is incomplete without some kind of inner vision. It is a Masonic symbol, or at least it was inspired by Masonry, and it found its way to the back of our dollar bill in 1935 through Franklin Roosevelt, who himself was also a Freemason.
There you go. That was an interview on NPR, which Mitch Horowitz, regarding the Run This Town music video and its occult symbolism that he agrees is there. He does finish off the interview by saying that he doesn't necessarily believe that Jay-Z is part of the Illuminati or anything nefarious. He mostly believes that just Jay-Z's sort of a shrewd man who knows sort of the kind of uproar, or at least the publicity that kind of presenting occult imagery would kind of bring with it, that people would talk about it, and that he is familiar with occult imagery. So you can definitely say that he has done some research, but ultimately it does seem more like he's, not necessarily letting on more, more than he wants to. That essentially he knows what he's saying, and that he's using occult imagery to his benefit, mostly to like rile people up. So, but yes. I only got a few minutes left on the stream. I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you, everyone, for blowing up the comments and listening. I will be back on Wednesday with more discussions of pop stars, celebrities, and the Illuminati, the occult. We're going to dive into our favorite pop alien, Lady Gaga, and we're also going to get into some of the celebrities and musicians who were rumored to be Illuminati sacrifices, people who didn't want to go with the flow and kind of toe the Illuminati line, and lost their life because of it. So we're going to get into that on Wednesday. I want to hopefully everyone is staying safe out there. I hope, with COVID-19 still being a big thing, I hope everyone is wearing a mask when you go out, social distancing when you can. Everyone, please take care of each other. Really, we're all we have these days. So please, I'll see you all on Wednesday. Take care, and remember, it is a weird, weird world.